The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
This movie did not pass the Bechdel test.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
2 hours and 35 minutes. It did not pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah. Do you want to tell folks what that is?
Oh, yeah. Basically, there has to be two named women. They have to be having a conversation with each other, and it has to be about something other than a man. And if that happens and it passes the Bechdel test, I don't even think we ever... I mean, I know there were two named women, but they never even had conversations. So,
Okay.
we're direct conversations. So,
Okay. Alrighty, folks. Well, this episode we are talking about F1, the movie. Dubbed the greatest that never was, Sonny Hayes was Formula One's most promising phenom of the 1990s until an accident on the track nearly ended his career. 30 years later, he's a nomadic racer for hire when he's approached by his former teammate, Ruben, owner of a struggling Formula One team that is on the verge of collapse. Ruben convinces Sonny to come back to Formula One for one last shot at saving the team and being the best in the world. This is a movie that was 2 hours and 35 minutes about car racing. And I have to admit, going into this, I was dreading it a little bit. And
as was I.
And didn't think once, like, where are we? How far along are we? Actually engaging the entire time, and I can't think of anything that really should have been cut.
Yeah. No, I mean, fairly formulaic, but still very good. Like, people make formula movies because they work. And
yeah, I mean, there's the hero's journey, which is pretty much foundational to any book written, any film written. It is a formula because it works.
Yeah, no, it was, and it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was definitely a few of the what would you do's, that thing that we do over here.
Yeah.
So
in short, we have Sonny who comes back to racing after being asked by a former teammate that he used to race with or against.
I think he was a former rival.
Yeah, and basically that guy owns a team now, Ruben, and the team is struggling, and they have a young racer leading the team who is pretty much... You know, he's
the future, but he's not the present.
Yeah, he learned how to drive basically on a simulator and not on the actual road. You know, he's a young 20-something-year-old guy, and I guess enough said. So Sonny comes back, and Sonny's good, and Sonny's got a lot of strategies that are just bordering ethical, unethical, but they get the team further and further along the races, and the teammate of his, Joshua Pierce, the young guy that was initially there, is threatened by him initially, and then slowly but surely, he doesn't even realize it, but winds up being groomed just by watching how Sonny interacts with the team, how he interacts with the pit crew, how Sonny leads and isn't in it for himself, but literally paves the way for Joshua to win, to excel, to grow, to lead the team. And he doesn't care about a personal win. He cares about the team win. But Joshua is young and insecure, and he sees Sonny as a threat.
I mean, I don't know if I would quite put it like that. Definitely, Sonny, there were definitely things that you should not emulate that Sonny was doing. When you come into the pit and they do their thing, you do not question. When they say they're done, you go. That is not the time to sit there and have a deliberation about, you should put these tires on, or you should put these tires on.
Well, it was the point. The point was to delay himself enough so he entered the race at a
No,
certain
not
time.
at that
to become
one.
People.
No, this is the first time when he was like, they put tires on him. He's like, no. And finally he wore down the pit chief until he finally said, fine, put the tires on him. Later he did a stall thing for sure. But that time he was just he was like, listen, you can't make me drive. So you're either going to put the tires on I want or I'm not going to drive.
Well, if you're the one who's driving that vehicle at 200 miles per hour speed, I can understand wanting to have control over the vehicle you're driving.
Yes, but the tires he wanted were less safe. He wanted things that were riskier, more dangerous.
But you know what? Welcome to sports. People in competition, which I'm sure you can understand and appreciate, put themselves in all kinds of precarious situations to be able to get the win.
And these are the conversations that are had before game time.
Maybe.
I
mean, you don't know how games, whatever that game, whatever that competition is, going to serve up. And there's lots of made-in-the-moment decisions in any sort of competition.
But that's why you have a coach. See, that's the thing. In all these sports, there's coaches. And the coaches are the ones that make the decisions. Now, occasionally, you'll get a situation where somebody might go rogue. Like I've seen it a little bit where quarterbacks go rogue versus what the coach has called as a play, but it's usually like on a one-play basis, and it's just it doesn't happen often because when you go rogue, you find your ass on the bench.
So what would you do is you would follow the directions of the team coach, so to speak.
Either that or you got to let them know beforehand. Listen, I understand.
We're
gonna do it my way, or else I'm not gonna move. Like the coach needs to have some form of because then he can basically say, okay, fine, then you're benched, or okay, if that's the way we're gonna do it, that's the way we're gonna do it. Like listen, I'm not a big auto sports guy, though I am a little fascinated by F1 because it's not just I'm taking a left turn. Sorry, that's a Jeff Foxworthy reference, I think.
Okay.
Or no, Jeff Dunham.
Okay. I'll trust you on that.
Yeah. It's not just that. You're actually winding through sometimes very narrow passages and things of that nature. So, pit stops for 3 seconds. Like you've got to get your shit together. Now, maybe he was like, well,
okay. So what would you do is you would follow the rules. I know you, so I don't believe you.
Listen,
you're taking the high road here, but I actually know who you are.
No, but
and you would be like, no, I know better.
If you know better, you have to have that conversation beforehand.
And so you don't, and then it happens, and you just shut up and you do as you're told, even though you know better, and you didn't have that conversation. I know you. If you
didn't have the conversation beforehand, that's on you.
Okay. Anyway, on to some other what would you do's. There are a lot to choose from in this movie. So we have the whole dynamic with Sonny. We have the board member who tried to actually jeopardize the team. We have insecure Joshua, who is threatened by Sonny. We have Kate, who is actually the woman who is in charge of designing the car. And there are some things about it. Sonny thinks that they just can't win a race with it. So he talks to her and says, we can't win with this car. And gets her to make some changes. And once they start actually changing the car, they start doing better in the races.
Well, it has a lot to do with what Sonny's style is. He's gritty.
And one of the changes and this was the part where you got up for just a moment you missed. He was talking about asking her questions about what does in your simulator you're just having the car drive, but what happens if there's a car in front of me or a car behind me or a car kicking up dirt, and what are all these real life situations? And she hadn't designed the car for that. So, the joke was designing the car for combat. And
because you don't typically pass in turns. Like you of all people should know, like when taking a turn on something, you're mostly just trying to maintain status quo. Imagine
me of all people. What does that mean?
Well, you always tell me whenever we get on like a turn, especially on the bridge, 2 hands on the road.
Yeah.
you usually make your passes on the straightaways because that's safer.
Right.
And we're talking at 50, 60 miles an hour for us. At 200 miles an hour, that's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But like that was his style. He was
He was a get it done.
risk it to get the biscuit.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dig into some what would you do. So there's a lot happening in this film.
Yeah. I mean, listen, in the end, Sonny got his influence. Like
Okay,
he basically was molding the team in a style that was different from what they were doing, and it was more
that
for
what
what
you
he
would do?
does.
Is that what you would do?
If my style was different from the team's and the team had been losing, then yes. Like, you've got to change something.
Yeah. Well, they changed the car, they changed the strategy, and they changed. I don't want to say changed the leadership because Joshua wasn't providing leadership. And as the driver for the team, he actually was just being, hey, I'm showing up, I'm driving, and then, peace out.
Joshua was doing his part, and that's the thing.
But Sonny rose up as a leader of the team, bringing everyone together, creating relationships. Like there was that one gal who was on the pit crew, and she was nervous and insecure around Joshua, but because of Sonny's leadership, she got more confident. And that was something that was never really spoken, but you saw it throughout the movie. So what would you do if you were either Joshua or Sonny and you had that role in that team?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like you were saying it's just a job, like Joshua was just doing his job and he left.
You have to remember,
I don't have to remember anything.
Auto racing is one of those really weird things that truly, truly is a team sport. Like you need several dozen people
And that's
to get a win, but in the end, can you tell me a single person, any person on Dale Earnhardt's crew? No, of course you can't. Unless you're a racing enthusiast, you have no idea because that's the name you know. He's the driver. And don't get me wrong, obviously, very important part of it, but I would even argue not necessarily the most important part of it.
What part of it? What are you talking about?
Of a racing team.
The crew?
The driver.
Okay.
Like-
I'm not following.
I'm just saying is that there's a lot of very important people, but it ends up in individual glory.
Well, yeah. I mean, much like the film, people are going to know Brad Pitt's in it, and they're not going to know all the people in the cast. I mean,
Yes.
that's just how life is.
Precisely.
Regardless.
So, like
But-
you have to remember.
but
You have to remember, just because you're the
leadership-
driver, you are not the most important person.
No, but every endeavor, whether it's a Formula One team, whether it's a movie production, whether it's a team at a workplace, needs leadership. And that was what that Formula One team was missing, was leadership. And when Sonny came, for better or worse, he stepped into a leadership role, taking control of the strategy, putting input into the car, making connections with the pit crew, having them hang out, bringing them along on his morning runs, and showing up. When part of that was when Joshua would stroll in, and Sonny was already there. He was already there. He was in the simulator. He was running. He was doing stuff. He showed up first before even the crew showed up. And that's what leadership looks like.
So in team sports, that's a lot of times what you call a players only meeting. And sometimes you will get like a locker room leader who will call a players only meeting. No coaches whatsoever. It is just the players in themselves. And that's where you really groom the leadership. You're not doing what somebody else is telling you. You're literally there to groom the leadership and build the character of that team without being told what you have to do. And it's usually a team that's like losing will do something like that to try to spark. And that's a little what he did, was basically he was calling players only meetings, getting people together and getting them to work and think like a team. And which sometimes a coach is great at, but sometimes you do need someone who can step up and gel the team.
I mean, it's you need someone in the same role as you so you can identify with them. And that's sometimes where managers and the team, or disconnect because they're coming at it from a different place. So what would you do if you were Sonny in the fact that you had this, you were the golden child, you were destined to be the one, and you had an accident and it was all over. And for 30 years, you have gambled, you lost money, you're now living in your car, you've gotten divorced twice, you've gotten annulled once, you've lost everything, and you just go wherever there's a race saying, yeah, I'll drive your vehicle regardless of what it is.
So this was,
and you were given this opportunity.
This was definitely more dramatic than my own life, but I definitely understand the lots of potential, like see a nearly unlimited ceiling for you, only to completely crash out. And then, I mean, that's the thing. Once you crash out, people just assumed, okay, well, up and done. And that's hard. Let me tell you, when you've been in that spot where you were like the golden child, it's actually interesting. If I may use a WWE reference, Drew McIntyre, when he came in, Vince McMahon loved him. He was the quote unquote the chosen one. Mm-hmm. And like they were all about Drew. And he completely bombed it out. Like he wasn't being a good locker room person. He was like, I'm good enough to get by on what I am, and he learned that he wasn't, and he ended up leaving for years. Actually, he didn't leave, he got booted for years and relegated to some really bad roles before he did. And he had to go out and he had to build character. And sometimes that's what separates talent from success is character. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the character, you're not going to get the success.
Well, and it's when people, regardless of the occupation, get cocky.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When Drew came back, he was completely different.
When you were humble...
he got humbled big time, and he came back is like, okay, I'm glad to have a second chance now. Now I'm going to do it the way I should have done it the first time. And Sonny made a good point early on about the prefrontal cortex.
Right.
Like, it's when you're someone that's as young as JP.
Yeah. Joshua was young, and
it's not fully formed. Biologically, it's not fully formed. And that's difficult, especially if you're someone like Joshua that's like, I'm just as good as anyone. Like, there's parts of you biologically that you may be able to buy alcohol, but that doesn't mean you're fully formed.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, and with age comes wisdom. Now.
Okay, so back to the question. What would you do if you were given that opportunity and granted, it's a little bit more complicated there because it's not just a chance for you. It's also comes with helping someone you used to have a relationship, a camaraderie with, and helping them succeed as well.
If that's your goal, if that's who you are, you take it.
Okay.
Because let me tell you.
Well, is that what would you do?
I take it.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like he said to the waitress, like, what would you do if you were given this opportunity that's like insane? Like, you shouldn't be given this opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's still there in front of you. Like, he was questioning it, but at a certain point, you just can't look a gift horse in the mouth. You have to say, I have a chance to drive Formula One again?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, here's the thing. If he comes in and completely flames out, that is what basically everyone's expecting.
Right.
So you can't do worse than what the expectations are. You could only do better. But in the end, it wasn't about what other people thought. He only cared about what he thought.
Yeah.
About himself, which is really how you should do it.
And, hopefully we all get a little bit more confident in, I don't want to say ourselves because that kind of implies cockiness, but more self-aware over time of what our strengths are, what our limitations are. And that awareness, in this case, Sonny knew what his strengths were. And his strengths were, just this edge of your seat strategy to make progress that other teams just didn't take.
Sonny was trying to play that Scottie Pippen role to Michael Jordan.
I will have to trust you on that one.
Well, you know who Michael Jordan is, right?
Yes, I know that's basketball. Beyond that, I don't.
If
I know
Michael
the
Jordan
players.
didn't have Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan wouldn't have been who Michael Jordan was. He needed that facilitator, that team player that makes the superstar look amazing. And that's what Sonny was doing for Joshua.
Right.
He was playing those roles. I mean, definitely a little on the dirty side, but not over the line, like on that line. And listen, I'm fine with that. If you don't go over that line, I am totally fine with walking it. And that's what he did. He wanted to let Joshua know that he wasn't going to be pushed around. But when push came to shove, he was like, I'm willing to be the role player because I want to be the role player. I want to see him succeed. So he did that. And I mean, knowing that like he's clipping his car, like he's going to end in dead freaking last place. But it's what the team needed. He saw a long-term strategy, which something like that, I mean, takes wisdom.
Yeah,
and
because it's
time.
not just about one race. It's about the entire, might be the wrong word, the entire tour.
I mean, he basically, listen, you're halfway through the season, you have 0 points, okay? You're not winning the team championship. It's just not freaking happening. There's no way. But he knew what the ultimate goal was. There's 9 races. We got to win 1. We win 1, he gets to keep his team.
Yeah.
And that was the goal. And it doesn't matter what happens in the first 8.
Yeah.
If you can get that 9th one.
Yeah.
So, and
Sonny was a gambler.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
He had that mentality and didn't get discouraged along the way because he knew that one was the one that mattered.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's better to get it when there's a few races left.
Sure.
But again, if you're in that position, you haven't won a race in 2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
And you're not going to come in there and just win. You've just got to get everyone ready to believe that they can
time
and
to gel.
get a little bit of luck. Get that red flag at the right time. That when your tires are crap, so that you can be in 3rd and 4th.
Those times, the right times. I mean, that was part of the strategy, is manipulating what he knew of how things work.
Yeah,
to
some of it was
those times.
Some was manipulation, some was luck. It was a little combination of both. Because you can only manufacture so much on the track without, literally going up in flames. But yeah, and they took advantage of the suckiness rule, that he was able to change out tires in a situation where nobody else was. And let me tell you, Formula One, three laps to go, starting in that position. Oh, it's just balls to the wall. Like, I don't even know racing that much, but I could have told you, if they've got fresh tires and everyone else's are crappy used tires to start in a 3-lap sprint with 3rd and 4th, one of them's winning.
Yeah.
So, no, I respected a lot of what went down in that movie. It got me with the feels at the end, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting up there a little bit, and like, as you know, I did used to have some things I was competitive in that I never quite got to the level as I would have liked it. And you never know whether or not that could actually be a thing in the future. And you never know when your last one could just be your last one. So good for him for taking advantage of it, and good for him for getting the team where they needed to. And good for Josh sacrificing himself at the end, because he said, I'm going to win 1 million of these. I'm young. I got plenty of time. This is your last race. We're getting you the one.
Yeah.
So,
and that showed the growth of that character.
Massive growth.
Yeah. Over the course of the film, Joshua actually turned into the leader and part of a team.
Yep.
That he wasn't at the beginning.
Yeah. Final thoughts?
Vroom, vroom.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.